Is it a motorbike? Is it a car? Is it a jet? It's Action Fighter. Action Fighter is a 1986 arcade game from Sega. If you haven't heard of it or hadn't seen it in the arcade, well, I'm not surprised. Apparently, it's pretty obscure outside of Japan, and in Japan it only ever hit number 12 in the monthly arcade sales charts. However, the game was ported to the Sega Master System in 1986 and the home UK computer systems in 1989 by Firebird. It's a bit like Spy Hunter. You race along, shoot things, and go in the back of a truck and get upgrades. It's that kind of thing, really. And as you'll have noticed, we have started off on the Sega Master System version. And yeah, this was released a long time before the Firebird versions. Same year as the arcade, 1986. So there we are, we're on a bike, and it's looking very Spy Hunter-y. There's a jolly tune playing, and you get shoved off the road by other cars. On this version, you have a timer, and you can't lose lives until the timer has depleted. We currently only have, well, a single bullet, but we can upgrade that soon when a upgrade truck comes along, a bit like in Spy Hunter. There you go, Sega lorry. We need to get into the back. You know, yeah, you need to line up and get into the back, or you will die. And off we go again. So this would have been one of the initial batch of Sega Master System games. Although the magazines only appear to have reviewed it in 1989, so perhaps it came out in Japan and the USA before, and then in the UK in 1989. Over to the UK home computer systems, starting with the Spectrum. And Core Design made this game, the people who later gave us, or not didn't later give us, who were giving us at the same time, Rick Dangerous. So there's our first mission to destroy enemy U-boats. So it's looking decisively monochrome as it would on the Spectrum. No music, even though 1 to 8K. You get a little arrow telling you what's happening with the road up front, so you don't kind of crash off the road when you're going quite fast, because you do end up in the middle of the screen. So you do need to pay attention to the arrow. Although the corners it indicates aren't quite as severe as there's a helicopter above me. I can't shoot that until I've got a missile upgrade, but I do have dual bullets at the moment. It's very Spy Hunter, and I need to collect those letters. A to F. There's another lorry. But alas, I've lost my double bullets, and I'll be back to double bullets again, because when you die, you lose all your power-ups. Yes, that's right. You die and you lose all your power-ups. Now, you'll notice there's a timer going on here, and you imagine that was to do with the you don't lose any lives until the timer has run out. But no, not on the computer systems. It's just a timer. And I'm playing on the Spectrum at the moment with no cheats, although I will be cheating on some of the other versions. Crash gave this 82% and said, if you like a fast blasting game, take a look at Action Fighter. Sinclair User gave the original release 66%, and then on budget re-release 75%. And your Sinclair gave it 62%, or get jump there. And Jonathan Davis said not a particularly good scrolly road game, but sort of all right in its own way. That's C collected, and now I can shoot out my backside as well as having missiles. And if I get the next power up, then I'm now invulnerable for a short time, and that's the maximum power up you can get. So we've got D, and now we upgrade to a car. That's why I hung on with the Spectrum version here so long. And we're going over to the Amstrad CPC. So it's pretty much the Spectrum version, but in colour. Again, no music, just... we've got some bit of sound effects in the Spectrum. Some beefy explosions. It's, yeah, fairly limited, really, isn't it, so far? And there's the upgrade lorry. Need to get into the back of that. Amstrad Action gave this version 54%. And they're not a particularly well-known game on, well, any platform I can think of, really. In fact, some of the reviews mention that they'd never even seen the arcade version, which isn't surprising, because apparently, as I say, it is pretty rare. There's a lot of other games here you could be playing. Spy Who Loved Me, does that come out slightly later? That does this better. Over to the 64, flashing lights on the Porsche. And I've learned that recently. Apparently Porsche owners call them Porsches. Apparently. I am not a Porsche or Porsche owner. So we're going to destroy 3 enemy U-boats on the C64. No music, but we do get silky smooth hardware scrolling and sprites as well. With your bike being a high-res sprite there. Well, it looks high-res. But I'm already, again, thinking, yeah, Spy Hunter. I could be playing Spy Hunter. And that's almost certainly on budget by now. In fact, yeah, it is on budget by now. On Kicks, where this game also ends up. So it's all a bit strange. It's odd that this game ends up at Firebird as well. Because if you think about who are taking the Sega licenses at this time, well, this Christmas is Activision with Power Drift, isn't it? 1989. And Elite have had them before. So this license must have been pretty cheap. And this is also, I think I'm right in saying, the death throes of Firebird. So perhaps they just felt they needed to get a game out. I don't know. It's, yeah. So you get a nice squeal, tyre squeal thing when you pull away, but on this version, like the Master System, you get some flags to collect as well that apparently give you some kind of bonus. I'm using a cheat. But again, there's that timer that's supposed to be infinite lives until it runs out. Doesn't happen. So it's copyright 1989 Sega Enterprise. It's such an old game to be bringing out at this time. Zap gave this Amiga version 35%, Amiga Action on re-release gave it 68%, and Amiga Computing gave it 87%. 87%! And that was John Kennedy, who might be the same Auntie John Kennedy who wrote for Amstrad Computer User. I suggest he might prefer to stick to the superb technical articles he wrote rather than reviewing terrible games like this. This is an Amiga game. This is... Games like this are the kind of things I used to see, and we talked about it with Operation Hormuz, that as an 8-bit owner, I went, yeah, you're paying 25 quid for that? And I could be paying $2.99 for a budget game? Onto the ST. And it's just as lame as the Amiga version. You can, if you want to travel along the road for a while without being harassed, just lurk behind the Sega lorry when it comes on the screen without boarding it. And that will kind of make sure nothing appears on the screen for quite a while. Booting up my Amstrad PC 2086 with the V30 processor. Got 2 versions to look at on the PC. EGA and CGA. There is no sound other than PC beeper. And some horrific controls there. ZX OK with fire on P. That's what I like. I like my fire button right next to my controls up and down. And not, say, on my thumb, where that would make more sense. Perhaps, if you can't use the spacebar, perhaps M. M would be good, like on the Spectrum games. Off we go. Well, EGA is quite attractive for this. Oh, I've died. And the controls aren't helping me here at all, really. There's no option for PC sound card or anything like that. It is just that version we saw in the 16 bits with horrific controls added into the rather unpleasant fetid mix. And this is what the game looks like in CGA. And you know what? I think this looks quite good in CGA, all things considered. Off we go again. It's still no good, and I still hate the controls. But in CGA, yes, I think this looks as clear and good as it's going to be. I missed a letter there. There we go, into the back of the Sega lorry. I mean, you didn't buy a PC for games, did you, really? I mean, yeah, it's for the poor, unfortunate souls whose dad had a PC and who wouldn't buy you a proper computer. Over to the Master System. So I transformed into a car. I've got all my letters. Oh, I missed that upgrade there. So any moment now, yeah, get me jet fighter thing. I take off. How exciting! How exciting! The Games Machine gave this version in 1989. Remember, it's a 3-year-old game by the time they're reviewing it. 63%. Enjoyable, reasonably addictive, and provides a good few hours of distraction. 63% for your 1995. And CMVG gave it 89%. But they always had a bit of a blind spot with console games, didn't they? They always saw them as more sexy. So now we've gone into a kind of shoot 'em up. A top-down shoot 'em up. So it's like you've got two games in one. And this would seem initially exciting. But we're back on the ground on the Spectrum. And we have transformed into a car. And look, we're into the air. And this is anything but exciting. It's a turgid, slow shoot 'em up where you can't really see much, especially if you were, say, playing this on a UHF TV. Yeah, this is really boring, slow, and you can't see the enemy bullets. None of it makes any sense. Suddenly you're shooting aliens and spheres and spherical. They're missiles. They're missiles. And yes, you can your aircraft, that target on the screen, your aircraft, car, whatever, fires rockets onto the ground or bombs onto the ground as well. So you can target stuff on the ground. Amstrad version, which is even more slow and turgid. It's colourful though, I'll give it that. It's colourful. Now I'm going to tell you something. We haven't completed level 1 yet, but it took me about 18 minutes on my first go to do level 1. 18 minutes because it's so slow. This is not fast-paced shoot-'em-up action. It's turgid. Into the back of the Sega helicopter. Incidentally, this Sega helicopter thing, I don't know where it's come from. Perhaps the arcade. I don't know because I've not seen it in the arcade. The Master System version has the lorries on the ground, but not any helicopters you can get inside in the air. And I'm absolutely convinced this game isn't ported from the arcade, it is ported from the Master System. That Firebird got the Master System version and copied that, because there are changes, and we're now on the C64, between the arcade and the home systems that can only be explained by the fact the programmers never had an arcade system to play. They just had a Master System version to play. And that includes things like the number of vehicles. In the arcade version, you could be a helicopter as well, you can be a jet ski, a fighter jet. But in these versions, six of these versions, done by Firebird, there are only the motorbike, the car, and then your car turns into a jet. That's it. I'm invulnerable at the moment, so if you've got invulnerability, just use that power to hit the enemies because you won't die. And it's frankly quicker and easier than shooting them. And this is the Amiga version, by the way. I mean, you won't be able to tell much difference between this and the ST. My shield is running. I quite like the fact you get sound when the shield is running out, as well as the thing flashing. Back onto the PC. What happened there? Oh, I got to this section. Okay. So we're now into the shoot 'em up overhead section. There's so much to this game, and you think there'd be so much variety, and then you just think, yeah, but I could be playing this game or that game. I could be playing Spy Hunter for the ground sections, And then, I don't know, Xenon or anything. Really? Gemini Wing? Is that out by now? I think it is. For this section. In fact, Gemini Wing, yes, that's far better. Top-down shoot 'em up, isn't it? Game over on the PC, that's as far as we can go, because I don't have any cheats for that version. Onto the ST, and this is the end of level 1, where the U-boats are surfacing and I need to shoot them. So you just use your bombs to basically blow them out the water. It's all such tepid stuff. You can see why the other software houses went, yeah, we'll take a pass on that one on Firebird, but oh, cheap license, we get that. Presumably without researching the fact nobody had ever played the arcade game. We're on the Spectrum, coming towards the end of level 1. Apologies for the glitching on the screen. I created some snapshots and then loaded them back in to play them, to record them, and yeah, only one of them worked. This one, and even this one's glitching slightly, as you can see. You win some, you lose some, but yeah, so we're over the ocean. We should be... It stopped scrolling, so are we going to... Is it... Well, has it stopped scrolling? Who knows? Who knows? The U-boats coming up? Where are they? Hello? Hello, U-boat? Yay! It's the U-boats. So the U-boats, so it's World War II? Or we just... Do Germans still call submarines U-boats? In which case, why are we at war with Germany? Has anybody thought this through? I haven't got a plot for this game, by the way. I couldn't really see one online, and frankly, it doesn't really matter, does it? You are a vehicle who shoots things. Same thing on the Amstrad. It's just turgid. And as I mentioned, 18 minutes to get this far in a 5-level game. Now, granted, some of that was me finding my way around, because this was the first version I actually played. But, so I didn't get all the letters first time round, so it probably slowed down, but it's still just so long-winded. So we're killing hover tanks this time. Off we go, and hopefully we're going to get some more variety, but we're still on a motorbike. Perhaps we turn into a helicopter. Well, I know we're not going to. Over to the C64, bomb the U-boats. Oh, so boring. Oh, so boring. Not even a cracking tune would help this thing seem any better. And the thing is, the end of level baddies aren't even big. You just get 3 kind of fairly regular baddies. And on the Master System, we're just clearing up. With the U-boats, we've scored a complete victory. Now go on to your next missions. What's our next mission? Hover tanks? Hover tanks. Doesn't say what they are. Well, yeah, I mean, what is that? Doesn't matter. That's our mission. Destroy 6 of those. So on the Master System, we're not on the ground. We are still in the air. And it gives some more continuity between the levels, making the game feel more as one playfield, if you see what I mean, rather than just starting again, which I quite like. I mean, it's still no good, really, is it? It's just... yeah. So many shoot-em-ups we've reviewed over the years, but then again, if you're saying this is 1986 and on the Master System, then it's acceptable. I just find it harder to believe it's acceptable in 1989 when the UK and presumably other European users got it. So on the Amiga, and level 2 is just on the ground. All the levels on the Amstrad Spectrum, Commodore, PC, ST and Amiga start off on the ground, on the bike, and then you become a car, and it runs the same way every time. If you go fast, inevitably that happens. So on the Spectrum on level 2, and I'm just being chased by a helicopter and incredibly bored. Again, apologies for that glitching. playing this without a cheat, so when I die, I will die, and that will be as far as we get on the Spectrum version. Incidentally, if you're feeling kind enough to support ChinnyVision, ChinnyVision pens are available at ChinnyVision.com, and also details of the Ko-Fi, which I'll plug in here because there's nothing else going on at the moment. I missed that. Well, actually, I picked it up. No, I didn't. So down to 1 life. Dear, it's a budget game, yeah, but... So on the C64, we've got all our letters. But it gives you something to do on the ground levels. The ground levels pass quicker than the in the air levels because you have to collect all those letters. And if you miss them, you'll be playing all day because it just loops around until you manage to pick one up. In the sky, you can pick up extra time things and power-ups and so on, as well as the flying helicopter things. It's just... Shoot 'em up construction kit is the phrase I'm thinking of here. For some of these, I mean, yeah, it's a bit more polished than some of those games, but it's so limited. You can only go so far up on the screen on the C64 version. On the Amstrad, it's about 1 frame a second. Incidentally, Zap64 gave the C64 version 39% and said not even Amstrad owners would be happy with this one. Yes. Yes, I know. That's actually hate speech. The code of this C64 version, as we get the hover tanks on the Amstrad, is the same as Bounder and Masters of the Universe, and the C64 version is getting 46% in CMVG. I'm just using the fact I've got infinite lives because I just need to get further on into the game. I'm utterly bored. Master System version, the timer has run out and now I'm on lives. On level 2, so now I've got to be really good. We're going to land, we're landing. Oh. What are we going to get? And off we go. Forward it on. Data into the level. Oh, and the hover tanks are on the ground. Well, they would be on the ground, I suppose, wouldn't they? Well, hovering off the ground. Actually, it didn't say they were hover tanks, did they? Said they were baddies. They're giant H's with pink flashing sides. Actually, they look like kind of giant H's loading a Spectrum game. Right, can I get onto level 3 on the Master System version? I have been using a cheat, but I think I'm only going to get so far because when I run out of lives, I run out of lives. On the Master System version, I think my cheat is allowing me to be hit by things, but if I hit things myself, like side of the road, I die. ST version, the hover tank looks quite nice there. Got some flag bonuses. On to helicopter gunships. And I've died. It's okay, I'm cheating. I've got 19 lives. You're probably tuned out by now because this is so boring, because there's nothing to show of this game. It is the same thing 5 times over. Yes, the roads get a little bit more complex, but there's nothing to see. It's just the same thing over and over again with slightly different backdrops. That's on to level 3 on the C64. Oh, it's super tanks, great. Same thing over and over again. Stage 5 from the CPC, and no, I've not stuck with it for what I'd assume would be at least an hour's gameplay by now. I've used a level skip cheat. It's still the same thing though. End of game baddies on level 5 on the Amiga, where I definitely have sat through this. I may have had my foot on the joystick at some points, reading my phone with infinite lives on just to get this far into the game. But we're bombing some carriers. We're bombing some carriers, and we will see the end of game sequence, which I'm sure will be brilliant. If we just get this far. And there's people waving out the carriers, which is something you get on these Amiga versions. And the game has crashed. Brilliant. Brilliant. On the C64, I've used level skip to get here because, again, life is too short. We completed level 5. Your bravery earned you a place in history. What? For playing this rubbish? Action Fighter, a 1986 obscure arcade game that somehow ended up being foisted on UK punters in 1989. Firebird obviously took this license because it was cheap. Activision, US Gold, whoever, looked at this game and went, no thanks, that's not worth it. But somehow Firebird went, yeah, we do that. Perhaps it came with a bundle of other licenses. Either way, oh dear me, it is so boring. And the problem comes from the original arcade game. But that at least gave you a variety of different vehicles. Boredom sets in very, very quickly. And you go through these versions where the Amstrad and Spectrum versions are turgid and slow, the Amstrad version being the worst of the lot. C64 version uses the hardware at least, but it's still so boring, not even a tune. And then we come on to the ST and Amiga. Firebird, you call this a 16-bit game in 1989? Really? Oh, goodness me. This is absolute tripe. It's a 1986 game with 1986 gameplay, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But in this case, it's so boring, it's so turgid, it's so repetitive. And the PC version throws in the insult of the worst controls known to man. No joystick option, no sound card support. No, the controls are ZX for left and right, OK for up and down, that's fair enough, and then fire on P. Oh, goodness me, do these people not play computer games? M, space, N, anywhere, comma, somewhere where your thumb can hit the button. The Master System version would be perfectly acceptable in 1986. The problem was it wasn't 1986, it was 1989. But then again, Sega were churning out a load of stuff from the earlier days of the Master System at this point. Sometimes obscure arcade games can be an absolute gameplay joy. But on this occasion, Action Fighter should have stayed that way. At this point, Spy Hunter is on kicks for just $2.99. Need I say more?